Did you know while all honey comes from bees, not all honey is the same? This video takes us through 10 of the most popular honey varieties, their flavor profiles, colors, and best uses. So whether you're a curious home cook, a beekeeper, or someone looking to find the perfect honey to pair with a cheese board, you're in the right place. Sweet clover honey. Grown in Canada, the United States, Sweden, and New Zealand, clover honey is the best-known honey variety with the largest annual production. Across the wide, open plains of the Dakotas, fields of yellow and white sweet clover stretch out under the sky, moving gently with the wind. This is the source of sweet clover honey, drawn from tall, nectar-rich plants that grow in abundance across the American Midwest. Unlike the low, familiar clover that creeps through a backyard lawn, this western variety rises higher, offering bees a generous and reliable flow of nectar throughout the blooming season. The sweet clover honey often arrives crystallized, which is a mark of its quality and purity. The color ranges from a delicate pale gold to a soft, hazy light amber, and when you taste it, you get something genuinely layered, bright and bold up front, then settling into gentle whispers of vanilla, caramel, and a touch of molasses. It's accessible enough to be an everyday honey, but complex enough to reward attention. It fits easily into daily use, whether stirred into tea, spread over warm bread, or worked into baked recipes, where its balanced character allows it to blend smoothly without overpowering the dish. Acacia honey. Ranging from a delicate pale yellow to nearly transparent, acacia honey is prized for its clarity. It comes from the nectar of black locust trees, often called false acacia, which bloom briefly but produce an abundant, fragrant nectar that bees eagerly gather. In some places, especially in the United States, this honey is still referred to as locust honey, reflecting the tree it comes from. The honey features a sweet, delicate flavor with a hint of vanilla. With a higher fructose and glucose content, it crystallizes much more slowly than other varieties, which makes it one of the most shelf-stable honey types. It slips easily into tea, folds smoothly into yogurt or cereal, and works just as well in desserts or light cooking, where a clean, subtle honey is preferred. Tupelo honey. If honey were spoken of in the language of fine vintages, Tupelo honey would sit in a class of its own. Produced in the river swamps of the Florida Panhandle and coastal Georgia, Tupelo comes from the white Ogeechee Tupelo tree, a bloom so short and so location-specific that this honey is produced in limited quantities every spring. The trees flower for only 2 to 3 weeks each year. When conditions are right, beekeepers float their hives into the swamps on barges to capture the bloom. When they're not, there's simply no Tupelo honey that year. What makes Tupelo stand out beyond its rarity is its unusually high fructose to glucose ratio. This means it resists crystallization far longer than most other honey varieties. It stays smooth and spreadable almost indefinitely. The flavor is elegant, a gentle, almost floral sweetness with notes of jasmine, cinnamon, and a whisper of citrus. It's not sweet in a sharp or cloying way. It's balanced, refined, and deeply satisfying. It is often best used in ways that allow its character to remain clear, whether drizzled over cheese, stirring into herbal tea, pairing with biscuits, using anywhere you want. The honey itself is meant to stand at the center of the experience. Buckwheat honey. Dark and bold, buckwheat honey comes from the small white blossoms of the buckwheat plant, a grain cultivated across regions such as the United States, France, Canada, Japan, and the Netherlands. Typically compared to blackstrap molasses, this honey variety is characterized by an earthy aroma and a rich amber color. It has a stronger and heartier taste than lighter honey varieties, and it's also higher in antioxidants. Because of its bold flavors, buckwheat honey is best used for baking and cooking. Products baked with this golden honey dry out less quickly, and are less likely to crack than those baked with traditional sugar. Its character holds up well in recipes where lighter honeys might disappear. It is commonly used in honey cakes, breads, and sauces, and is generally recommended for cooking and baking. Lehua honey. Lehua honey comes all the way from Hawaii, where Lehua is the state tree. Lehua honey has a deep, rich, butterscotch sweet to it. It's decadent and tastes like a dessert honey. Lehua honey has a creamy consistency that goes great on just about anything. The Lehua blossom is sometimes called Pele's flower, tied closely to Hawaiian tradition. According to legend, two lovers, Oichai and Lehua, were separated by the volcano goddess Pele after her advances were refused. Oichai was transformed into a twisted tree, and Lehua, in her grief, was turned into a flower, and placed upon its branches, so they could never truly be apart. It is said that when the flower is picked, rain begins to fall, marking the sorrow of their separation. Because of its delicate yet layered sweetness, this honey works quietly in simple uses. It is often used to sweeten tea in a gentle way, spread over warm toast, or taken on its own, where its smooth texture and dessert-like character can be fully appreciated. Florida Orange Blossom Honey. Of all the honey varieties on this list, orange blossom honey feels the lightest and most refreshing. Made by bees working the citrus groves of Florida, it carries the essence of those delicate white blossoms in every drop. The flavor is a subtle, floral citrus sweetness, not sharp or tangy like orange juice, but soft and aromatic, like standing in a grove at bloom time. Because of this balance, it pairs easily with lighter foods and drinks. It blends naturally into tea, especially green, white, or chamomile, where its citrus notes sit alongside the flavor rather than covering it. It also works well in lemonade, iced tea, and light cocktails, adding a quiet brightness, and in desserts where a soft, summery sweetness is needed. Manuka honey. Manuka honey is produced in Australia and New Zealand, where bees gather nectar from the native Manuka bush, a hardy plant that thrives in wild, often rugged landscapes. This honey offers a mildly sweet taste with a subtle nutty flavor. A slightly bitter aftertaste offsets the initial sweetness. While most honey has natural antibacterial qualities, Manuka honey has greater amounts of antibacterial ingredients than most other types of honey. This Australian honey protects against damage from bacteria, boosts the production of special cells that repair damaged tissue, and eases pain and inflammation. It fits comfortably into everyday use, whether spread over toast, bagels, or biscuits, or stirred into yogurt and cereal, where its distinctive taste can still come through. It is generally suited for table use, cooking, and baking. Alfalfa honey. Alfalfa honey is often overlooked, yet it comes from one of the most productive nectar sources in the American West. Made by bees pollinating vast fields of purple alfalfa blossoms across the western United States, this is a legume honey, and legumes produce a spectacular amount of nectar. From this, a honey is formed that feels soft in both color and character, often appearing creamy and pale, sometimes nearly white. Because its flavor is so mild and neutral, alfalfa honey is a remarkable culinary chameleon. It enhances both savory and sweet dishes without announcing itself, letting the other ingredients shine. It's pure, straight from the hive, with no added dyes or colorants, exactly what raw honey should be. It is often best used in ways where you want sweetness without strong honey flavor, whether worked into baking, brushed over vegetables as a glaze, layered into yogurt parfaits, or used more generally as an all-purpose honey that adapts easily to different dishes. Baker's Special Honey. Baker's Special Honey is a blend of classic honey varieties. The result is a rich amber honey with a fuller, more pronounced flavor than the lighter types often used at the table. As its name implies, Baker's Special Honey is the perfect alternative to standard sugar in baking recipes. This honey variety is also used for brewing batches of mead, a trendy fermented beverage made from yeast and honey. It is generally recommended for cooking and baking, where its robust profile can be put to use, and is commonly worked into whole wheat breads, pastries, and barbecue sauces, where it blends smoothly while still adding a noticeable richness. Hot honey. Trending amongst foodies for its ability to bring an unexpected sweet heat to entrees and desserts. Hot honey is pure honey infused with chili peppers for a spicy kick. It is made with honey varietals that aren't overly floral, like clover and alfalfa honey. Hot honey is easier to pair with foods than you might initially think. It's great for drizzling on pizza, fried chicken, cornbread, grilled pineapple, and even ice cream. It also works well as a dipping sauce or as part of a charcuterie board, where it complements cheeses like goat cheese with a mix of creaminess, sweetness, and spice. It is generally suited for table use and cooking, and is commonly used as a finishing touch, where a small amount can shift the flavor of a dish in a noticeable way.